What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Candid Combos on this Wednesday night. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Chloe with us. Say what's up to the people, Chloe.
Hey everybody. What's up? Happy Wednesday. Hump day.
For sure, for sure. Now, we appreciate everybody joining us tonight. We appreciate everybody who will watch the show today, who will join us on the panel, who will drop down in the comments. I said, definitely like, share, subscribe. Let's say we want to get the word out. We want to get this content out to as many of our people as we can. And like I said, we want folks to come on the show and participate and engage with us. I'm going to throw the link up to join us on the panel. You see fit. I'll also drop it in the chat feeds as well. And like I said, don't be scared. You can come on here, join us on the panel. Let's get it in. You have the ability to cut your camera off if you choose to, if you're scared to show your face. Let's say you can still cut your camera off and still come on the panel with us. Yeah, so don't be scared. I said we have some brave soldiers who get on here sometimes and take it there with us. And like I said, that's what makes for a great conversation. All these different perspectives from these different people, from these different walks of life, you name it. That's how you have a great conversation, a productive conversation for that matter. All right, so we got the link posted in all of the chat feeds. Like I said, once again, we appreciate you guys joining us. Well, man, we got an interesting topic tonight. And one thing I want to, express to everybody who watches and supports the show. We really do this show to handle some business. And what I mean by that is, we have a lot of things or issues going on within our community that we really don't address. We don't address them. We don't want to talk about them. We don't want to touch them. Like we just try to turn the blind eye to a lot of this stuff, right? And a lot of this stuff is our downfall as a people. A lot of this stuff is our downfall as a community. And like I said, we're going to talk about those things on this show. And it doesn't matter what it is. Like I said, we're going there. And like I said, if anybody who supports the show or watches the show has anything that you want to get off your chest, any topics that you think we need to cover, definitely hit the Candy Combos page and drop a comment. Or you can hit me up at Quay Price and drop a comment as well. Like I said, we're on YouTube as well at the Quay Price page on YouTube. So definitely let us know if there's something that we need to touch. Because at the end of the day, let's say we're trying to change our trajectory as a whole. We're trying to move our people forward. In order to do that, we're going to have to touch some of this stuff that everybody's scared to touch. Some of these conversations that folks run away from because they're scared to get into it. And like I said, I welcome that. Yeah, but we are definitely going to do that on this show. So I said, once again, we appreciate you. And I said, definitely don't be afraid to come on the panel with us, give your perspective, because that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. Share the show out too. Like share the show out. We don't have enough people that look like us talking about topics that really affect us in a real honest way. The only way we can actually really make any progress is if we, like Quay said, if we actually talk about these things and talk about them in a safe space and talk about them in an open, honest way, right? Like they're uncomfortable conversations. Some of them are, it's sometimes hard to be completely honest. But we have to talk about these things. So share the show. Even if you are not necessarily interested in a particular topic, still share the show because the goal is for people to learn or grow or just walk away with something that can help them or encourage them or inform them. So definitely support and share the show. We do this for we literally do this because we believe that it can help. And I don't know why I'm saying so much. That's so annoying. But yes.
Oh, yeah, it's all good. We know what you mean.
And the show is also on YouTube. So make sure you guys, go subscribe to Quay's channel on YouTube and You can always rewatch the show later if you miss it.
Right, right. All right, so let's get into this. So let me give you some context on the topic for tonight. So the topic for tonight, man, the topic for tonight. Um, I'd rather be a baby mama than a wife. Yeah, let me say that one more time. I'd rather be a baby mama than a wife.
Okay.
So the reason why this topic came up, I actually saw a video the other day, and the video was titled, "Being a Wife is More Scary Than Being a Baby Mama." And I'm gonna be honest with you, when I saw the video and I saw the title, I'm like, what the I know this gotta be some clickbait or something. Like, ain't no way this is a real title. But I took a minute to watch the video, and it was a real title, and it was the discussion, of a older sister, on a show with her younger sister who was still in college, um, talking about basically the fact that, she had children early. She was unmarried, had children early, and I think she was trying to influence her younger sister to not take the same path or road that she took. And then, of course, there was a whole bunch of other stuff mixed up in there as well. But I didn't even believe that was going to be like a real video, just listening to the title um, and listening to their conversation. There definitely seems to be some feelings out here that it is easier, or that some ladies essentially rather be baby mamas, so essentially single mothers, um, versus being a wife. Um, and I said, I know this is 2022, but I'm like, I think we need to have this conversation because I mean, this is serious. At least it is to me, and I definitely should be serious to our community as a whole. Um, being that we already have some issues that we're dealing with as a community, and to add this one to the list, like I said, this is kind of blowing me away. So I want to hit a couple of videos real quick. I got two quick videos I'm gonna throw up real fast before we get into this. But yeah, like I said, we're talking tonight. I'd rather be a baby mama than a wife. Um, so yeah, let me kick off these two videos real fast, and then we're gonna get into this conversation. Like I said, once again, I appreciate everybody joining us tonight as we get into this. And like I said, any ladies who are on here who are watching us right now, I see we got some viewers. Definitely chime in if you know somebody who's in this situation. Definitely chime in. Let's see, we need all the perspectives we can get. But yeah, let me kick this off, and we're gonna get on into this.
One of the most interesting things that I have seen on the internet thus lately is that nobody plans to be a baby mama. Most people just want a family. If you want a family, you need a husband and a wife and kids. Remember that nursery rhyme? First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes a baby with a baby carriage. What the hell happened to that? Where did we go wrong, Black people? Why are we planning to fail? If you don't plan, you plan to fail. So, sis, did you just fall in this man's bedroom and happen to have sex and procreate? No, boo boo, you planned it. Women, we have to do better. And don't come in my DMs about men got to do better too. It takes two to tango, and you know it.
All right. So I got one more I'm gonna throw on real quick, and I'll say shout out to Mickey for joining us. Um,
Hey, Ricky.
Hey guys.
hey, hey. All right, got one more I'm gonna put up. Let's say, then we'll get into this conversation. So give me one sec. All right, let me just say this real quick. D-Neil, I see you trying to join. It almost seems like you're not fully connecting. So just, I don't know if you're on an iPhone or not, but just check your permissions and make sure it's going to allow you to connect. I think that's what may be stopping you. All right, so let me throw this last one up. Let's say then we'll get into this conversation real quick.
Let me know. Where you at? You don't have kids because you don't want any. What? No. I know that people probably think that because when women get to a certain age and they don't have kids, it's because they don't want any. That's not true. I don't have kids because I don't have a husband. And I know what you're thinking, right? You're going to say the same thing that everyone else says when I say that. But Jessica, don't you know that you don't need a husband to have kids? Don't you think I know that? Don't you think I know that? Can I want to do it the right way? In my opinion of what the right way is, right? Again, let me repeat that. My opinion of what the right way is. I want to have a husband and then children. It's not that I don't want any. I ain't got no damn husband. So I got no damn husband. I ain't got no damn kids. See how that works?
I am living for the Lord. I am living for the Lord.
No, but I do want kids. If God.
All right. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to put those 2 videos up. The first video was talking about, essentially planning, making plans, when you're involving yourself with somebody. And the second one was about, in her opinion, doing things right or doing things in order. She wants to have a husband and be married before she has any kids. What's going on, C Prince?
What's going on, bro? Give me a second real quick.
Okay, no problem. Take your time, man. So she wants to basically have a husband before she has any children. So let's get into this. Because like I said, it's an interesting topic. Like I said, a few different perspectives. Okay, what's going on, D-Neil?
Hey, y'all. How you doing?
We doing good. We doing good. How you doing?
I'm good.
So I can tell you must got something on your chest. Is that why you jumped on here?
I'm just listening. I'll share out later, but I'm listening. I don't want to cut you off. I'm listening
Now
to
I'm
your
ready.
flow.
Okay. All right. So like I said, a couple different things going on, right? But the topic is, like I said, being a wife, or basically, I'd rather be a baby mama than a wife. So I want to get into this. So what are we seeing, right? So we just had the one young lady. She says she wants to be married before she has any kids. It's starting to feel like maybe in 2022, that's an old concept. That's old school, traditional. Like, I don't even know what to call that. I mean, let me start it this way. Is that still a thing? Yep.
I guess it depends on, I guess it depends on, your mindset, right?
Right.
Like the young lady, right? Who said she ain't got no husband, so she ain't got no kids. It's just because she living for the Lord, okay, with a T. So I guess it depends on, how you see things. She said that was her opinion, right? Like, so yeah, I happen to take that same opinion because it's really not my opinion. Like, it's really not her opinion. It's really God's opinion. We shouldn't be glorifying, nor should we be normalizing a woman having to raise her kids on her own. It's not because women can't. Not saying that. Definitely not saying that. But we shouldn't normalize a woman having to raise children on her own because it's not fair to the kids. It's not fair to her. Like, she shouldn't have to do that. So we shouldn't be normalizing it in this day and age. Like, it's okay. Like, oh, if you just want some kids, just go have some. Like, no, like, children benefit so much from having both parental roles. And I know parents aren't perfect, and we don't get to choose our parents as kids. And as kids, we don't get to, I mean, like, I totally understand it. But at the same time, I believe that it's more beneficial for a child to have the option to have both parents than to not have the option to have both parents. And I have to call BS on any woman who says, well, it's not like I set out to be single. I mean, to be, a single mom. So what I say to that is, okay, I get that you didn't maybe anticipate that the man that you had children with, you didn't anticipate whether he'd stay or go, right? And that's a factor that you cannot control, right? That part is not within your control. However, not having a child with that man is within your control, right? That is within your control. We're gonna be grown about this, right? And you can not have a child with that man. Like we're gonna be grown about it. I'm not gonna talk about ways in which and how you do it because that's so not my business. But the truth of the matter is, if you didn't want to have a child, you wouldn't have one. So I'm just saying that. Now, to be clear, there are some ways that people don't have kids that I absolutely don't agree with. But that, once again, is a personal decision.
Right.
So all I'm simply saying is what we're not going to do is make excuses and say, oh, well, I didn't know. You know what happens when men and women come together. So let's be grown about it. And I think that what we're seeing is the same thing that the young lady said. People are just like, I even had it said to me when I was younger. And y'all, okay, I don't care about telling my age. I'm 40. Like, I literally had somebody tell me in my early 20s, they were like, oh, you don't got no kids? And I'm like, no, not yet. I'm like, I don't have a husband. And they're like, oh, well, I mean, what you waiting on? You gotta hurry up. Go have some kids. Like, you just need to hurry up and have some kids. And I'm like, why do I need? First of all, I'm in my early 20s. Like, why do I need to hurry up and have kids before I have a man? Like, even then, it was starting to already be normalized that women go out and have babies, but not be in a serious, committed relationship where my children will come out and have this man's last name, not just because he signed a birth certificate, but because he's my husband. Like, I just, I don't know. I think we just completely lost our way in this particular regard. So I'm gonna let somebody else speak because I don't want to take.
So here's my take on this. So I agree with Chloe in that ideally, in a perfect world, it would be best for a child to have their, mother and their father. However, unfortunately, this is not always a perfect world that we live in. So, I mean, honestly, I just think that most women that I know personally, and that's all I can speak on, ideally would want to have been married, before they had their kids, or, would want that type of family structure. But again, we're not always living in this ideal world. And there are so many factors that come into play when we say that, right? Because what about the woman who really does want a kid, who is, let's just say 40, 45? I mean, people are having kids later in life. What if you can't find that man who is willing to get married or willing to settle down? I mean, what do you do in those instances where you really have a desire to be a mother? And let's be honest, I mean, science is real. So, I mean, I don't know of too many people who are having babies like, after 50 or whatever. We know that the risk for complications for childbirth increase after 35. I mean, that is advanced maternal age. So, I mean, I understand kind of both sides of the coin, you will. And I will say this. I also see lack of willingness amongst our brothers to even want to get married. So there's this whole disparity thing. So what do you do in those situations?
So I agree with that. Like I was just talking to Kawhi about this the other day. I literally was just telling him that dudes unfortunately aren't marrying women as quickly in this age as they were before.
Absolutely.
So I agree with that. Like I do see that's an issue. So that part, like that, once again goes in a variable, right? Like we cannot control. There's nothing we can do to control that particular portion of it, right? Because we can only really manage ourselves. We can't manage that other person, whether they decide to stay or whether they just decide to go, or we can't manage that, right? So I agree with you. I don't disagree with anything you said. Obviously, someone who has reached a certain age and it's like, I really want children. But those are like, in my eyes, in my opinion, those are specific cases, right? Speaking in general terms, when you're talking about the attitude of someone saying, I'd rather be a baby mama than a wife, and women becoming single parents, right? And having to hold both roles, like this is not a perfect world. And I'm speaking of the world we're in, because I believe that we can still uphold that standard in this world. I think the problem is we don't care as much, because it's a little bit of and this is not speaking to anybody on this panel, I'm speaking in general, but it's a little bit of excuse for us to say, it's not a perfect world, so I can't, I can't say I can do that. Like I said, like as two grown adults, if you don't want to have a child, you don't have to have one. Like you said, science is real. So we have to look at that on both sides. If you don't want to have a child, you don't have to. I think what I'm always going to do is I hold myself accountable for the poor decisions that I've made, because I've learned from those things. But I can't learn from something that I'm not willing to accept and I'm not willing to own. And I think that if we don't start owning some of the things that we do, if we don't start saying, dang, yeah, I did that. Like, that's what I did. And instead of me saying I did that and now trying to justify it, let me say I did that. And that maybe wasn't the best way to do that. So let me, now set a different standard for myself going forward and encourage other women to do the same, right? Because, hey, guess what? I got a testimony. My testimony is, girl, I did that. And, it's cool. I'm happy where I'm at, but, I probably would do it different. Like, I think that's how we learn, right? And keep going and changing. That's about changing our trajectory. It's just being accountable for what we do.
So I got some questions, but we're going to go to C Prince. Go ahead, C Prince.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to say this. Sometimes I think women realize that they want to have children, but they're not wifey material, point blank. They're not wifey material. They just ain't wifey material. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of women out there that got kids that ain't wifey material, but they're good parents. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at that options too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that the fact that you have to be in a relationship or stay married, everybody wants to be married and stuff like that. That's the thing that we grow up and be taught. But guess what? Sometimes some women ain't wife material. Sometimes a man ain't no husband material, but they got traits that they like, and they get together and they create this child and realize that they're not perfect for each other. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta look at that as a whole, But the thing about it, that men is not going to marry women, because guess what? They're options. Women give men too many options in this world to be with them or not be with them. They don't hold their feet to the fire. So guess what? As long as you're in an option status, a man is never going to commit to you. They might be with you, but they're not going to commit because it's an option. And they got to realize that. Stop being options. I ain't going to say thoughts or side chicks. Your options. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta move past that option stage and make somebody commit to them. And women ain't gonna do that.
So I have some questions as well. So, and I know the topic deals with, whether a woman wants to be a baby mama or a wife, but I will pose this question. What about a woman who chooses to be a wife and has children with a man who ain't spit? Is that better than a woman who chooses to not be married and have a baby daddy, but he's providing for the child. He's not out living a philanderous or abusive lifestyle. And I guess we talked about this before. It's just going back to the thing, do you get married and stay married for poor reasons? You know what I mean? Because I think C. Prince was onto something. Sometimes, let's be honest, we don't always make the best decisions, or somebody who we like or love is not necessarily going to translate into somebody that's a good mother or father.
Yeah, but I think that's I think that's the problem though. We because see this is what I keep hearing, right? It sounds like we doing a horrible job at vetting. Like that's what I continue to hear.
Because there is no vetting process. We just sleeping with people.
Yeah, it's like I don't hear, because like I said, there's got to be some type of thorough vetting process. And I'm not talking about, how big her booty is, how big his package is, how much money he got. Like, I wonder, are we vetting for the wrong stuff? And then we get into these relationships. Then we start talking about having kids. Then you go have the kids. Then you come talking about he ain't ish. And it's like, that don't make sense, because what that tells me is he wasn't ish when you was laying and having the kids with him. So see, that tells me somebody was overlooking some vetting or some due diligence in the process, because people don't just pop up and turn up and not be ish. Like, it don't work like that.
But I think times are different too. I mean, you look at Scott Peterson, and I know people are gonna say, "Oh, that's an isolated case," but I promise you, if you Google like famous relation, or even, everyday people, it's the rates of men who marry women who end up killing. It's astronomical. It's crazy. I don't want to say that was unheard of back in the day, but you didn't hear about it to this scale. You know what I mean? So even people that did know their spouses, years before they got married, or they actually did do the dating thing, I don't think they married somebody who they knew that was going to grow up and kill them. Like, there's no way. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when you say vetting or a judge of character, I don't know that you will always know somebody 100%. You know what I mean? Or I wonder what's causing our radar to be off, right? Men and women.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but see, that's my point though. Just based on what you just said. See, our radar is off. Yep. If what you're saying, when you make the point of, you got dudes out here killing wives and doing all type of stuff, if that's the case, right? So basically what you're telling me is, based on some stuff we've seen, we should be more cautious, because cats is less trustworthy. They a lot more slick. You're meeting them on social media versus meeting them in person. So we got all these things that makes the process harder. Why are we being so easy to lay and keep having these kids?
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Like
that don't make sense.
Why are we talking about vetting to the point of wanting to marry a person, but we're not talking about the same vetting process needs to happen if you're gonna sleep with somebody and just be somebody's baby mama? Like, the same vetting process has to happen. Like, it's not a different vetting process for a husband than it is for a baby daddy, because at the end of the day, there really should only be one process, because there really should only be one role. Like, we should be trying to keep the husband and wife roles as what they are. Like, I know that I understand that the times have changed. I get it. But we're the reason why the times have changed.
Right.
I get that the times have changed. I understand that people aren't valuing the same things. I understand we don't put the same value. I understand we don't look at things the same way. I understand men is not, cuffing women the same way. Like, all of those things are absolutely 1000% true.
So
My
what's the
thing
solution?
is, on a person to person basis, we can't just drop our standards. So you're right. There is some crazy dudes out here killing women with like they don't care and getting away with it. And I'm just simply saying, like, that's even more of a reason why you shouldn't even be wanting to be sleeping with these dudes. Like you shouldn't even want to be sleeping with them because you don't know what I don't even want to close my eyes in the bed with this dude. You're right. I'm like, I get it. Like, I don't disagree with you. Like, so I feel like that's even more of a reason why we need to be taking our time, maybe slowing down the train a little bit, and making sure we know more about the person. There's no way you're going to know everything. There's no way that you're going to, catch everything. But I do believe that we really don't. If we're being honest, and I don't think we're honest enough, like we should. If we're being honest, we could do a better job at that. We don't. Like we don't. So I mean, I think that's a big part of the problem.
So I guess what's the solution? Since we know men are, and I mean, like you said, Chloe, in terms of accountability, where's the male accountability? And I know the topic is based on women, but where is the male accountability? So we're saying that women, I mean, I can name you countless women right now off the top of my head without thinking that, to me, they are career women. They make a decent living. They take care of their children. They, they're good people. They have a good heart, whatever the case may be. They're morally sound. And they're not thotty hotties. They're not out at the club. They're not shaking their booty. They don't dress in thongs and go on fans only. I mean, so I'm not going to say that they're not quality women. So that's out the window too. But so what's the solution then for the men who don't want to marry these women who are decent or quality women? Because there is some accountability from a male aspect, and we can't keep saying, oh, there aren't enough quality women. What's the solution, and what are we doing? Because let's be honest, also there's this ratio of men to women where in some cases we outnumber men 5 to 1. So what I mean, I want a solution, or is there one? I mean, because I'm all solution based, but I mean, what is the solution?
Go ahead, C Prince.
I'm gonna say like this: you asking for a solution, there is really no solution, because guess what? What one woman won't do, another woman will do. Understand this. So the problem is, until the women get their stuff together and understand and set a standard for the women, which is never going to happen. Hands down, it's never going to happen. Because guess what? You like what you like, and they like what you like. And that's how it's going to go down. You know what I'm saying?
That's real. I appreciate your honesty. That's real, though.
Oh, my God.
So you ask for something that's never going to happen.
I mean, I have to agree with Prince. Like, I don't know. And this is something I've told Quay. Like, I don't know that there is just like a cut and dry solution. Like, I really don't believe that there is one. I think that there are steps we can take to improve. But do I know that it's going to fix the problem? Like, as in it won't be a problem anymore? Like, I just don't see that happening. Because like C Prince said, like, okay, so we get women in general, right, to start, raising their standards and, start doing things different. But there's always going to be some who are not, some women who are not going to fall in line. They just not, right? So then you can't get a solution across the board. So I really think it just really takes each individual person, men and women, to look at what they're doing and say, okay, I'm not going to be like this no more. I'm not going to push this anymore. When I'm around young women or when I'm around young men, I'm going to, edify them and encourage them to do it differently, right? I'm not going to make an excuse for them. I'm not going to tell them it's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell them, if they come around talking about some, I want a kid, I'm not going to tell them, well, just go have one. You don't need a man. Like, I'm not. See those, but the thing is right now what we're seeing is a whole lot of the other side of that. Like, right? There's a whole lot of, you don't need a man for this. There's a whole lot of, if you want a baby, you want this, you want that, just go out there and get it. There's a whole lot of, and the thing is what happens is we become like, there's almost like this resentment that I'm starting to see happen for even the role of being a wife. And I don't actually believe that women in general, as in a whole, really resent the role of being a wife. I think it's just because we are looking around us and we're seeing the situation that we're dealing with a lot of, single moms, and we're seeing, how men are, not wanting to commit in a lot of instances, and we're seeing things like this. Like, I think it's starting to make women sort of resentful of this. And now you're getting this whole, I don't need a man, I don't want a man, I just do it myself, he ain't good for nothing but his money and his sperm and all of this. Like, now you're seeing this, right? But I feel like at some point somebody has to say, I want something different for myself. Like, men and women. Like, at some point somebody has to say, let me off this bus, right? I'm trying to do it differently. Because if we don't, then we just gonna keep perpetuating the same thing over and over and over again. And the first step is first acknowledging, okay, yeah, this is a problem, and I need to check how I think about this, right? Am I excusing this? Am I allowing it? Am I being accountable for it? Am I justifying it? Am I making excuses? Like, because it's our mindsets. And then about the women and the whole moral standard, like, I know people are going to feel different than I do, because my moral standard is not determined by me. My moral standard is determined by God. So I endeavor, which is very difficult in this world, but I endeavor to live a life according to his standards. And if that's the truth, then we have to check our moral standards, because sometimes the morals we think we have, they ain't cutting it, to be honest. Like, because what's successful in this world is the way we even measure success is broken, because it's based off of what we see around us. So, I mean, we even have to look at the woman who believes that she is doing everything that she's supposed to do and doing everything that's right, present company included, myself included. Like, we have to look at that and we have to go, okay, but is that really right though? Like, is it just I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do? But who checks that? Who does the checks and balances, right? So if we, as women, if we want to do the checks and balances for dudes about how they carry themselves, and if they good dudes, and if they, scrubs, if we want to do the checks and balances for them, then who's checking and balancing us, ladies? Because are we checking and balancing ourselves, or are we just, yeah, girl, you right, you doing it right, yeah, girl, because he just a deadbeat, girl? Are we championing the behavior, or are we calling ourselves out and calling ourselves to the mat too, and saying, okay, there's some things I could tweak here, there's some things I can change here, because all of it ain't just dudes don't want to get married. Some of it is, like C. Prince said, every chick ain't wifey material. And then guess what? Every dude ain't husband material. So, I mean, like, I really think, for me, I'm always going to preach accountability on both sides, because, that's the first step.
Go ahead, C. Prince.
I'm going to say this. Like, I tell women, what I'm saying, my personal experience, I won't sleep with nobody that I don't see myself having a baby with. And first of all, if they give me tendencies that I already know that I don't even want in my life, I ain't even mess with them. We could be friends. But women see men, what I'm saying? They see the tendencies that they don't want, but they still sleep with them because it's just for that moment. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? If he shows you he's a dog, he got a morning eye, he's a Papa was Rolling Stone, you'll overlook that until you get pregnant. And then you start complaining about it. You see what I'm saying? He already showed you who he was, but you don't believe it. That's first of all. Second off, you know what? You got to give them baby mamas their due. Because guess what? Them baby mamas are confident in who they are. Because guess what? I don't care what that man does. He get married to another woman, have another girlfriend. Guess what? baby mama is running things, unless it's a sour relationship. If it ain't a sour relationship, guess what? She gonna, and y'all been around that girl that has a baby mama, like, oh, I know he's with such and such, but watch this. She calls him, he stops everything, give a good lie at home to come over there, because guess what? She got that fire, that real freak in her that made him come running. And you know it's true. We know it's true. So baby mamas, when they confident, they got the truth. They're gonna take your man, they're gonna let you have him. You go home and deal with all that headache. Because guess what? The baby mama gonna get that money, she gonna get sex when she wants to, and guess what? She gonna ruin your night just because she wants to, because she's like, I got that fire.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless for the first time in a long time.
This guy. So I got a question. So my question is, right? So we, I know D. Nell brought up a question earlier as to what is the solution. So I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in here, and I just want to see.
Blaming hotties too.
No, real talk. So I got a question for the ladies. I'm about to throw this monkey wrench in here because I just want to see what y'all gonna say. So question to all the ladies, because I see we got a few ladies watching us right now. Question to the ladies. Do y'all still believe in no sex until marriage?
Why did you just walk away?
Come on, I'm going there.
Why your lips look like that?
Hold on.
Did you just see your face?
Who face?
Yours. When I said I do.
Oh, no. That wasn't for you.
You did.
But did you see that thing now? He was like, it was almost like he was like.
No, my bad. No. I got these screens behind me. But no, real talk. Do y'all still believe in no sex until marriage? Question for the ladies. Keep it real.
Hell
Okay.
no.
Go ahead, Mickey. Go ahead, Mickey.
Wait.
You did ask.
No, I want to know. I'm curious. I want to know. I see it.
Was
He
that
wears
Mickey
down
that
too.
said H no?
Yeah, that was
That's
me.
Okay, I want you to elaborate. You gotta elaborate.
Well,
Lord help me.
okay. This is Facebook. I don't know how graphic we can be.
Oh Lordy. Let's do PG-13.
Okay.
Come on, Mickey. Come on with it, Mickey.
I'm just gonna say you have to try the goods before you purchase it. And that's for both sides. I'm gonna be fair. Love is fair, and everything is fair in love and war. Like for the man and for the woman, I don't know what you're working with down there. I can't look down there and be like, oh, that's gonna be fire.
Wait. Hold on. Mickey, so based on what you just said, so are you telling me that when you go to the grocery store, you tasting the steak before you buy it?
This is not the same thing. Don't play with me. No. 100. This is clearly a figure of speech, but my point is, like, I spent a lot of time in the church, and I was honestly the most devout. I'm gonna wait for my husband, this and this and this. I'm gonna do it the right way, but life experience showed me something different. Not that I went out there and like, oh, I'm gonna go test everything. That's not what I'm saying. What I learned is that as spiritual as I am, I feel like there's some common sense in there too. So if I want longevity truly in my marriage, am I expecting God to bless me with a husband with a big dick who know how to work the thing?
Why you ain't? Hold on. Okay, so now I gotta say something. Though. Okay, hold on. So now I gotta say something though, for real. I'm not even mad at you. But how you know God won't do that? Did you pray about it?
You know what? He might.
Did you pray about it? Okay.
He delivered yet.
God is an awesome
take
God.
matters into my own hands. I got it, God. I'm straight. I can handle it.
Oh,
let me do it.
Let me elaborate.
You gotta pray about it. You gotta pray about it.
Let me elaborate.
Where's the oh my God button? Where's the oh my God button? Press it.
It's not working. It's not working. Go ahead, C Prince.
I
What you
gotta
gotta
be
say?
my own ad libs. Oh my God. Got it.
Go ahead, C Prince. What's your response to Mickey, man? Go ahead, man.
Now I agree with her.
Me
You know what I'm
too.
saying?
You agree with her?
Yeah, because guess what?
I do
The
too.
only way I think that a person shouldn't have sex before they marry if they both have never had sex. Because why ruin the moment?
Mhm.
But if you had sex before me and then you gonna tell me I gotta wait till you lost your damn mind.
I agree.
You lost your- look,
People can change their mind though, Prince.
now listen to this. You can't change your mind. What you look? How they say in the 70s? Nah, girl, you ain't gonna hold back on the play on me. Nah, you ain't gonna do that.
People can change their minds, Prince. Somebody could. What if that person had that experience and was like, that was not the. I don't want to have that experience again in that manner. And they're like, I changed my mind, and I'm not gonna. There you go.
Listen to this. I am saying like this. If you started off right, and I'm saying, and y'all are in a non-sexual relationship and you decide to get married, that's fine. But if you have it, you know what I'm saying, if you having sex and all of a sudden you're gonna say, well, I don't want to have no more sex till we get married.
But no, that's not the
You're
point
holding
he
me
said.
hostage.
That's
You know
not what he said though, Prince. I
What
get
he
what
say?
you're saying.
No, let me backtrack. So my question was, like I said, do ladies still believe in no sex into a marriage? And the reason I asked that is because a lot of this, and like I said, I'm going to use Erica Webb's comment.
All right, let's hear this.
She said, "No guy I've ever met will go for it." And the reason I asked that question is because, lately I've been hearing a lot that men control access to relationships and women control access to sex, right? But according to what Erica just said, no guy that she's ever met will go for it. And my question to that is what happened to the female standard? So if you control access to sex, then he don't have no choice but to go for it.
Okay, so wait, please let me speak on that.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So here's the thing. I feel Erica on that.
Go ahead.
This is why I agree, and I want to read her comment, but I want to say this. Like, the reason why she said that, and I know why she said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is because you just said that men control access to the relationship, right?
Right.
While women control access to sex. Okay. So let's just be adults about this thing. If you can't even get to the point where you're in a seriously committed relationship because you're concerned that his hang-up is going to be that he can't get past the physical part of it because you won't be physical with him, then let's just be honest. That's a real concern for a woman because she's like, I want to get into the part where we're in a committed monogamy. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't already be in that. I feel like you should already be in a committed relationship before you even go there with the man. I am a believer in waiting, but I'm not gonna be no hypocrite and say I did, because that would be a lie. But I would tell you that if I could do it again, I would, because I feel like my husband is right. You should be expecting that man to rise to your moral standard. He should. And if the man won't wait for you, it's telling, right? Like if this man can, woo you and dine you and wine you and court you, because he's supposed to be courting you, right? And he can't wait for you, like, what is that saying? Why are you in such a hurry? Like, I understand Mickey's point of, I want to test drive it or whatever like that. But that, let's just be honest, that never really was the way it was intended to be, right? Because now we're doing all this test driving and you see where it's getting us. It ain't really, we really ain't, we not in no better of a situation. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, marriages are not lasting longer because we test driving. Kids don't have both parents because we test driving. It's not less single parents because we test driving. Like, test driving is not, and this is not on you. I'm not putting this on you, Mickey. I'm just simply saying test driving hasn't necessarily helped us though. Like it hasn't necessarily helped us. Like maybe, you know, preference wise it does, but it hasn't necessarily helped us in our relationships, right? So, you know, I get what Erica is saying though. As a woman, you might want to wait, but if you feel that pressure from the other side, like, oh, well, he's expecting it and we can't get to, you know, really get into this relationship where we're in this committed relationship because this is a hang up. Then, you know, it's a concern. Unfortunately, it's a real concern for women because men, you know, while you're raising your standards and you expect a man to come up to where you are, not every man is doing that. Not every man think like that. And that should automatically tell us to walk away. But like D-Nail said earlier, okay, but when you got a situation where it's 5 women to 1 man, like C. Prince said, if you say no, he just gonna be like, oh, well, where's number 4, 3, 2, and 1?
Let me say this too, and this is coming from, and I respect everybody's opinion and everybody's religious beliefs and conviction, but maybe it's because I'm coming from a different place. So I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious, if you feel what I'm saying. So this is not going to come from a religious standpoint, but I'm going to say it like this. So when it comes to whether you're going to have sex before marriage or not, you know, I hear you when you say it's not necessarily working, that we're test driving, but I would also venture to say it's not necessarily working also that we wait until marriage. And let me tell you what I mean. And I'm not going to get too deep into it because we are on a social media platform that can be watched. But I will tell you, I personally know of a woman who is extremely religious. She waited for her husband and they got married. And she just found out that he's been having multiple years long of an affair with a particular woman. So that's not guaranteed either. So you saying wait for a man until you get married and then have sex with him. Well, if it was guaranteed that if I waited before I got married, that he was going to be faithful to me and we were going to have this happy sex life, hey, then I'm all for it. But there's no guarantee that that's going to work either. And
no, there's no guarantee.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, because people were saying, oh, well, we're not test driving, it's not work. It doesn't work all the time, but neither does getting married and then just, you know, waiting for marriage to have sex either. So I'm saying, you know, you just have to weigh, you know, everybody's different in that regard too. But I will say, to Mickey's point also, it being honest, the thing is, I mean, if you're trying to be a faithful person in a marriage, and again, I'm taking religion out of it. With any religion that I'm aware of, period. One of the principles is generally that you are faithful to. Not all of them, by the way. Let's be clear. Not all of them. Some of them might have polyamorous lifestyle, but for the most part, most religions do believe, you know, in a monogamous lifestyle. So if you're going to be monogamous and faithful, you have to kind of sort of know what you're getting into, because there's no way, I'm gonna be honest, I can't guarantee I'm gonna be faithful to a man who I'm not satisfied with. I'm just being all the way 100, period, and point blank. Call me what you want, say how you're gonna say, that is what it is.
I can't be mad at nobody. I can't be mad at nobody else.
Don't be asking me out. Ding, 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 ding.
But I mean, I can't be mad at D-Nail's point. Like, that's her opinion. And I still, one day somebody gonna have to explain to me what's religious versus spiritual, because I don't understand that. Like, I don't know what it means when somebody says I'm a religious person or I'm not a religious person. I have a relationship with Jesus Christ and his Father, Yahuwah. So I don't really know what that means. If you believe in anything, that can become a religion to you if you believe in anything. So I don't really, by definition, I don't even understand what somebody say when they say religious. Like, I really don't even get that. But that's another point. What I'm saying is, you know, there's no guarantee. You can't guarantee that if you are, you know, you wait until you're married to be intimate with somebody that they're not going to cheat, right? Because that says everything about them and their character, nothing about who you are and your character, right? So it doesn't say anything about you. It speaks more about them. If that person was going to be unfaithful, though, you could have slept with them and they still could have been unfaithful. Like, so there is no guarantees in this life at all. Like D-Nail said earlier, because there's so much, we're imperfect people, like there are no guarantees. My simple thing is we have gotten so far away from a moral standard that we don't now. It's like to even entertain these types of conversations, we're not even like, we can't even really take it seriously. Because it's like, well, I have to do this. I have to do I, and everybody is entitled to their, to their opinions. But I feel like the reason why these type of rules, if you want to call them that, was put in place is so that we didn't end up where we are. And if we're honest, the minute we started to think of this the way we think of it now, is why we're in this mess that we're in. We didn't just arrive here. There's nothing new under the sun. So these kinds of things have been happening for generation after generation after generation after generation. And now look at where we are after all this time. So if we want to talk about solutions, we can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, right? That's the definition of insanity. So I'm always going to make a case for look at what you're doing, because there may be some changes that you can make, right? There may be some things that you can do differently. It doesn't necessarily mean that the whole world is going to transform, but what it does mean is that your situation, and maybe you can affect the situations, have a positive effect, on the people around you. If you start to make certain changes. And I do think that all of us set the standard for ourselves, lifting up a standard for ourselves, I mean, it's a good place to start.
Let me hear. I want to hear what C Prince is talking about.
Yeah, I got C Prince and Mickey, so I know y'all both want to go. So
I'm let Mickey go first because I'm gonna be a gentleman about this. I'm gonna let her get
No,
off.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
That was nice though.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
We starting right here. You showing gentleman behavior. Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, C Prince. Get it off your chest, man.
Now I'm gonna say this, right? We're gonna be real here.
Go ahead.
We in a relationship with a woman. We first get with them. If they ain't a jump off at the club or something like that, you know what I'm saying? We going with the intentions of this is gonna be a one night stand. We always start off a relationship getting to know each other. You know what I'm saying? And be truthful, women are more sexual than men. Period. Period. Hands
He's
down.
not wrong.
We can't keep up with them. So they might say, hey, I'm gonna wade and stuff, but guess what? Any man worth his salt know how to treat a woman. And guess what? He gonna make that imagination go wild, and she gonna come around to that sexual event. And not because you encourage it, because she wants to know. Understand this. Because we ain't gonna force them to do anything they don't want to do. Any man to force a woman, guess what? You ain't a man. Woman gonna give to you what she gonna give to you. Point blank. That's it. Hands down. They know when they look at you. If they gonna sleep with you, you're gonna be a friend. You know, you know what? I actually had a woman I said I ain't gonna sleep with, and we're gonna wait and see what we go. And guess what? I ain't never slept with her to this day. Period. We friends and we laugh about that. Like, did we really said that? And then she's like, we should have tried it. It's too late for that now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time to go backwards. You know what I'm saying? Understand this. Anytime that grown people, I'm gonna say it like this: sex is not the problem.
Period.
It's the moral. The morals of a person is the problem. Sex is not the problem. Because sex is nothing wrong with sex. If your moral standards is messed up, you messed up. So let's keep it where the moral standards is, because guess what? The only thing sex is gonna give you is bad and good. And that fire. That's all it's gonna give you.
Married or not. Yep.
All right, go ahead, Mickey. I know you've been waiting. Go ahead, Mickey.
No, it's actually to his point, when I was talking about trying the goods, just because I tried them, doesn't mean that there can't be a cutoff point for that. So the problem is, yes, I had sex once and then we just gonna keep doing it. And then I look up 5 years later, we together and not married. That's my own fault. That has nothing to do with the man. I can still set the tone for the relationship and let that person know this is my standard. Yes, we're sleeping together, but this is what I expect. And if I don't get it, I'm out the door. We don't do that. We just, oh, we'll wait. We'll keep on seeing what goes, what happens. And then you look up and you're 50 years old, still, with the man who proposed and 25 years later. That's your own fault. That's your own fault.
And let's be clear, that doesn't mean you're doing it with every Tom, Dick, and Harry you meet. Let's be clear. That might be you did that with one person. That don't make you a thotty hottie.
But you got to think about it. If you go back and look at some of your grandparents and their grandparents, they were never married. The woman just took their name and they had that understanding because guess what? A piece of paper don't make you married.
Period. Or make you act as such.
And your commitment to each other is stronger than that piece of paper. Understand, if you committed to somebody, you don't need a piece of paper. You don't need to be married. All they got to do is take your name. That's it.
Yeah, but I think so based off what we've been saying though, so we're back to, and I'll just, use C. Prince's point. So we're back to an issue where we're talking about a lack of moral standard. Like that's really where we're at. Because, to C. Prince's point, the sex is not the problem. But the way we look at sex is the problem. Yep. So it's not the actual things, it's the way we view the things. You know what I'm saying? Do we even hold sex in high regard anymore?
Right.
Like, I mean, sex nowadays is like getting somebody's phone number. Like it don't even, do we even hold that in high regard anymore? I mean, true, going back to, and I got a couple points on here from some things that D. Nell said earlier. She made a point about, women getting to a certain age and basically deciding that they want to have children. So essentially they'll just have the child even though they may not be married. And it's like, even a situation like that, it's like, are we looking at that the right way? Because at the end of the day, we still got to consider the child. So like, are we saying because of something we want, we will deliberately bring a child into the world, possibly with a missing parent, just because that's what we want? Like, is that what we're saying? So
yeah, I mean, I think that's what we're saying. We still want to be, that's what we're saying. We still want to be mothers. If somebody tells me that, and I'm not going to say it's gender specific because men want children just as much as women do, whether you're gay, straight, or whatever the case may be. I don't think it's selfish to bring a child into the world if you know you can raise it. You can raise a child in a terrible household with two people just as equally as you could with a single parent. So if I feel like personally that I want to have a child and I think I can do the best job by myself, as opposed to bringing a toxic person into the situation, I'm going to go by myself. I'm going to just go by myself.
That's interesting. I feel like, I don't know. I'm listening to the ladies and I'm like, I have to be careful because I don't want to come off like, so I'm just going to say this.
Yeah, hold on. Let me say this real quick, Chloe. Like I said, we're having this conversation to get down to the bottom of what we're dealing with and what we need to address, right? So we ain't in here calling nobody out. We ain't on no judgment stuff. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Let's say we just really trying to have this conversation because we got some things we got to figure out, in this space. So I just want to put that out there. Go ahead, Chloe.
Well, no, you kind of took what I was going to say. I wanted to say I want to make sure that the ladies understand that this is not me doing the finger wagging thing, right? Like that's definitely not what it's about. Because I don't have no perfect story. Like I'm not perfect. But I have learned some things and I always want to share the things that I learn, especially if I think they'll help somebody. But I think that I get a little bit, I don't know, I feel sad for us a little bit because as women, I feel like I hear like some of what ladies are saying in the comments and like everything. And I'm like, wow, like I feel like we feel like we don't have options at times. I feel like we feel like we're in situations where we're forced to do things that maybe we don't even really want to do. Like I feel like we would, you know, some of us are doing things that you know, are not, we kind of even feel and know maybe they aren't what we should be doing or what we would rather be doing. And I don't know. I still have to just say, like, we have to start forcing a standard. Like, ladies, we do have to start expecting men to hold us in a certain regard. We have to see ourselves that way. We are worth waiting for. And if a dude is really for you, and is the dude that's for you, he is going to wait for you. And this I do know from personal experience. And you just have to, I know it's hard. I mean, but I think that you do have to, I don't know. I think we just have to, I don't know. I feel like we just have to set the standard and go. Just like we're telling men, like men have to step up and be men, like women, we have to step up and own our roles too. And I think that it'll force some men to grow up, and then you know, men hold your ground, stay 10 toes down, lift up your standard. And I think it'll force those women who maybe need to grow up as well. Like I think we need to call each other to the mat and hold each other accountable as well.
So, Quay, let me ask you this. Let me turn the tables on you. Would you wait honestly and seriously?
Would I? We asked that question.
Right, see, Prince. Right. Mm-hmm. Now tell the truth.
Go ahead.
Are you gonna wait until marriage for sex?
You saying would I or did I?
Have you? I don't think you've ever been married, have you?
Yeah, I've been married for a long time. My wife's sitting right there waving at you.
Are you really? Oh, y'all are married? Are you serious? Yeah. I didn't know that. I promise you, I didn't know that. Okay, so look, close your ears, Chloe. So before y'all got married, bitch. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
No, answer the question, girl. Answer the question, girl.
He told you
plead the fifth. He gonna plead the fifth.
No, she already said she did.
She already said she did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna plead no fifth. Like I said, we keep it a buck on this show. Ain't no, like I said, at the end of the day, that's the only way we're gonna get this stuff dealt with. We got to keep it real.
No, but I'm gonna answer that because I can't be on here saying the kind of stuff that I'm saying and not be honest. Yeah, so I'm gonna answer that. He waited, but he didn't wait until because I didn't make it. Let me finish. But you know why? That's why I answer Erica's question the way I answer Erica's question. Because I literally can feel her. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if my husband would have waited. You know why? Because I didn't make him. That's why. But hold on. That's why I say now. That's why I told y'all earlier. If I could redo it, I would have did it that way. Because my husband waited for me. He waited for me. I just didn't make him wait until marriage. So now I'm like, you know what? I should have made him wait.
But see, I think that's the perception. I've made people wait too, as I know for fact certain Kamiki has too. So, I mean, I think that's the misconception, or that's the perception though, right? That if it's not like you didn't wait until marriage, like I still think that's a good thing to make a guy wait. That's not to say I meet a guy at the club and we're in the bathroom like, oh, come on. Like, you still have a certain moral compass, and I still make guys wait too, as I know Mickey does as well. But I'm not necessarily going to wait until marriage if I'm being 100.
Okay. And can I go back to the kids' point, the kids' perspective? When you guys were saying, is it right to bring a child into the world? I feel like we're in a new type of society where it's not necessarily, oh, you can't bring a child into the world. Like, we want legacies for our life. Like, everything that we do, it's like, who we're going to pass this stuff on to. Like, I'm not going to pass it on to my uncle or great nephew, son, brother, cousin. I want a child to give everything that I worked for towards. And unfortunately, if I'm not meeting the right person at that particular time, is that to say that I have to be left out of the loop to pass my legacy down because I didn't get married to have a child. I don't think that's fair. I don't
Yeah,
think
but
that's fair.
hold up. Go ahead, Steve Prince. Then I'm gonna go after you. Go ahead, man.
I'm gonna let you because you're gonna take it. So I'm gonna tell you like this.
You know I'm about to.
Yeah, I know you about to. But I'm gonna tell you like this. We actually take it. You gotta think about these baby moms. Some of them are good mothers. Because you gotta think about some of these professional women, the professional men come from a baby mama. And you got to give the respect to some of these baby mamas because they walked away from a situation they shouldn't be in. Period. It just they took a child with them. Understand? So we got to give it the whole look that hey, some of these baby mamas are women, some of them are hoes. So we got to differentiate from both of them. You know what I'm saying? And I think I applaud women that will leave a relationship or not stay with a man because of a child. I applaud them because guess what? I dated someone. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm gonna tell you like this: everybody got to stand on their own 2 feet. If you sit there and be in a relationship that you shouldn't be in, you deserve what you get. And then give that child no better than you leaving than staying. Point blank.
Yeah, but then okay, so then in that situation though, Prince, see, I feel like this is where stuff gets ugly, right? So if we're in the mindset that I get with this person, you know, we have some kids, and because something ain't working out, I leave. Then when does that stop? Because there's always gonna be something in a relationship that ain't working, right? That's normal. So it's like, when does that stop, right? So now we're gonna have a situation. Well, now, you know, shoot, we got that situation today. So we've got some of our young ladies, they've got multiple kids from multiple guys because something didn't work out in the relationship. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, when does that stop? Because at the end of the day, at some point, somebody got to say to themselves, is it me? Yep, like, am I the problem? Right, like I said, this is no personal attack at the ladies on the panel with us or in the conversation. I'm just keeping it a buck. But sometimes I'm gonna keep it real. Sometimes some of our ladies, that have gotten older in age. Like I said, I'm just calling old. I'm in my 40s.
Oh, Dirto, go ahead and say it.
Ooh, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
I wasn't gonna go there, man. But like I said,
He just rude.
Some of our ladies who have gotten older, I think at some point we got to ask some questions. At 42 years old, why am I not married? Because it can't all be about the dudes. Yep, at some point somebody would have snatched you up. So at the end of the day, because I said, going back to D. Nell's point earlier, she was naming off ladies around her with the qualities. They educated. They successful, they got jobs, they got degrees, they got it going on. But yet I'm sure there's a chunk of them who's single. So it's like at some point we got to ask ourselves,
I'm not asking myself nothing. It ain't me. It's not me.
What?
No, let me say this. I honestly feel like, and I'm not a man, obviously, but I really feel like, and I do agree, we do have to like internalize and figure out, look in the mirror and figure out what part of us may be the reason, if any. But let's also be honest. And again, I'm going to go back to science, and I'm going to go back to numbers, and I'm going to go back to just sheer facts. The facts are that women outnumber men 5-1. Unless you're in a polyamorous relationship, even the best of the best women are going to be left out. And I'm not saying all of those 5 women are model, ideal, wonderful, wholesome women. However, you're going to have a large portion of those women that are going to be left out. So I'm not saying that some of them may have flaws or whatever, as we all do, but I think that does explain some of it. It may not explain all of it. Then who's to say that these women who are single and unmarried did not turn down wedding proposals and couldn't have been married? I've been proposed to, hands down. That doesn't mean that I wanted to marry necessarily the people who proposed, or I thought that it would be a good situation. So just because you're not married doesn't mean you're not marriage material, or that you couldn't have been in a marriage. And I also think sometimes that's where people go left, because like you said earlier, Quay, you're like, people walk away from baby daddy or baby mama's relationships. People are also walking away from marriages in record numbers too, which is why the divorce rate is so high. So a marriage is not necessarily going to keep people together either.
Hold on, but it can. But
just like a relationship can too, though.
No, but what I was saying earlier is I don't think that these marriages are keeping people together because they are not vetting right from the beginning. See, we keep talking about the divorce rates being higher.
Right.
I understand that. But what was the foundation of the marriage?
Right.
See, a lot of people, they want to get married now because it's a publicity statement. I mean, we can look at a lot of these little jokers around us that we see. They're married to a new cat every 3 months. So it's a lot of nonsense going on behind marriages. And see, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't even think we looking at a lot of this stuff the right way. And especially when you go down in the marriage space. Because like I said, you got a lot of folks doing a lot of stuff for the wrong reasons. I mean, I'm sure you guys remember a while ago, when we had a lot of young ladies, they were looking at babies almost like toys, like trinkets. And it was like you turn around left and right, and it was a young lady having a baby. And it's like babies is like stylish now. Like they're carrying around like Birkin bags. And I'm just like, we not even viewing a lot of this stuff the right way. And then we end up in these situations, and then it's like, everybody got their hands up, everybody pointing the finger at the next person. So yeah, we got a lot we got to address. Go ahead, C Prince.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this, I look at a woman over 30, 40 that is single. I don't look at her as a problem. And I'm gonna say this because guess what? Most of these men nowadays ain't worth a damn. Why settle to be married with worthless people? And that's men and women.
Yes.
Yes. Because guess what? You could go home by yourself and you can wake up to yourself and be happy. But it's hard to wake up with somebody that you ain't happy with. Point blank. And I tell you like this, most of these men, now matter of fact, I ain't gonna dog the men. I'm gonna dog these women out real quick. I'm sorry, women, y'all won't get it.
I'm going next. I got something to say to Erica.
Because guess what? Yes, y'all have a lot of things to offer, but your attitude stink.
Ooh.
Point blank.
Wait, hold on. Wait. What did he say?
The attitude.
He be talking about these attitudes. He talks about women's attitudes.
We can't fix attitude. We can buy your hair, we can buy your nails and get your clothes and stuff, but your attitudes it can't fix that. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is this: you have to have things that a man probably can't give you, but you be with him. And then you tell them about the man that can't did it, or the man you were just with that just doing it. But you the one was attracted to me. I understand this. I don't got that problem. Because I tell a woman in a minute, you get what you get. And that's all you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? Hands down. But I mean, it is not cold because I give them a realistic look at life. Women have an unrealistic look at life and relationships.
Facts.
Point blank.
We do.
Yes,
I want some more data on that, fellas.
Yeah.
It's plenty.
Yeah, ladies. We got some unreal.
Speak on it.
No,
we got some unrealistic. We do. And I obviously speaking unrealistic.
Look at Hey, Mickey,
you see Mickey's face? You see what I'm saying? You see how she looking?
Listen,
we do. I mean, come on, ladies. We do. We know we do. Like, and I'm not saying that some of what we're asking for isn't, that.
Right, Erica. Erica, we need you in.
We do.
Please tap in, Erica. Sorry.
We do. No, I'm serious. We do. Like, come on, y'all. Like, and look, I mean, I've talked to some women where, ladies, the list be a mile long about what a man needs to have. But then you'll turn around and ask them, okay, well, what are you bringing to the table? And they looking at you like, can you ask me that? Like, you don't know? I'm a woman. And it's like, okay, I give you a woman. And that's great. It's great to be a woman, especially a Black woman. But can you be more specific? Because you got like 100 things that you want a dude to have. And let's just be honest. I mean, I'm a woman too, y'all. Like, come on, stop the cap. Like, y'all know we have a laundry list of things that we want a man to have. We do. And I'm not even saying that we shouldn't have those standards. I'm just simply saying, if we gonna be like that, then we gotta be the same way. When that dude come with his laundry list, as a dude, you should have standards and you should have a list for yourself as well. Know what you want. Women know what you want. Men know what you want. Part of the problem is we out here, we don't know what we want because social media done told us what we want. News done told us what we want. Kanye, Kim, and Cardi B done told us what we want. And so now we confused. We don't really actually know what we know what we want. Let me say that right. We know what we want because we've been told what we want, but we don't actually understand what we need. We don't understand what we actually need. As women, you need a certain type of man to balance you out. If you're high strung, if you have a more masculine dominant spirit, if you are someone who is very assertive and you're I'm speaking that these are all things that I'm speaking about myself. Then you need to have a certain kind of man to balance you out. But a lot of times that's not the man you're looking for because that man's going to do what? Ding, 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 challenge you. And you don't want to be challenged. That man's going to do what else? Ding, 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 correct you. And you don't want to be corrected. So we got to be honest. We out here with a whole laundry list of things that we want, and our needs and our wants aren't lining up.
Start your own business.
And that's what ends up happening. We go after what we want, and then we're disappointed because it don't work. Instead of going after what we need, or being able, or even knowing what we need and being able to recognize it.
Right. Let me grab something real quick. I got to touch this real quick. Comment came up earlier from my guy, Justin Morton. He said he was with a woman 13 years waiting on her to mature. He's basically said he's glad that he didn't jump the gun and marry her. He found his soulmate as soon as he let her go. Yeah, so I wanted to put that comment up because I just wanted to represent that, guys see that as well. I know why a lot of ladies going around and talking about they got they stuff together, they mature faster than me and all this stuff. Dudes dealing with that same nonsense as well. And then this other comment I want to touch real quick is from Erica Webb. And she said a lot of the men don't want to commit and don't have their lives together, even in their 40s. It's rough out here. And I hear this a lot. A lot. So the ladies are always saying that the guys don't want to commit. The ladies are always saying that they don't have their lives together. And my question to that is, and I know C Prince, I know you're gonna have something to say about this, but my question to that is maybe it's not that they don't want to commit. Maybe they don't want to commit to that specific woman. And then the second thing is when you say that guys don't have their lives together, what does that actually mean? Because I'm not sure that it's always the best move when a lady determines if a guy has his life together. So let me just put that out there. So if you want to respond to that, Eric, please do. Well, I said these are two things that I always hear from the ladies. And like I said, I think sometimes in these comments, the ladies have some accountability in those comments, but I'm not sure if ladies see it that way. Go ahead, C Prince.
Look, I got to say this. Today, there is a lot of women. They got their stuff together. Their bodies are tight, everything. You can't knock it. I'm saying you can't knock it. But at the same time,
I don't see all them women.
look, with everything together, everything's
I know them.
And when you go,
I only know a handful. All the ladies ain't like that.
no, I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying
Stop
all.
it.
I
Stop
said
it,
there's a lot
Prince.
of.
Stop it, Prince.
That's just a lot of them. But what's the
Thank
problem?
you.
With, there's
Stop
a
it,
lot
yeah.
of fine single women in this world, and you know why?
Mhm.
They got their educations, they got their stuff together, they go to the gym and work out. But the biggest thing they got, the biggest problem they got,
Real talk, Rodney. MC Price.
they are always insecure in their relationship. They could never be
Guilty.
because guess what? They're always wondering about who the next woman trying to get what they got because they think they got the best things in sliced bread. But guess what? They're not they might show the world they got money, they in the gym, they toning, they doing all this stuff. But truth of the matter, they're insecure about themselves in a relationship. They're strong everywhere else but the relationship. So guess what?
I can see that.
Oh, that's doesn't matter.
I can see that.
Guilty. And you know what? See, Prince, I'm gonna give you credit though. I'm gonna give you credit because you see them. You see, as you should, because you're a single man. So you should see more of the single women who are about their business. I'm being honest. That's real talk. So appreciate that.
Y'all gonna make me say something. I'm trying to be.
I mean, I guess I'm around a lot of women. There's a lot of women in my family, and they're single. And you know, I'm not saying that there aren't single women out here that got their lives together, so to speak. They work out, they take care of themselves. We know those women do exist. I see them. I know some of them too. But I see also a lot. I'll be honest. But some of the baddest women that I know, who have like quote unquote lives together like that, good career, all of that, they're like C Prince said, they attitudes suck. Their attitudes suck. They fall in that category of women who don't they know what they want, but they don't know what they need. They are very arrogant and very masculine because they have had to take care of themselves. They've adopted this certain type of personality. Now that it makes it difficult when they do date men because they don't know how to. Okay, now I'm in the presence of a man that is interested in me, and they don't know how to turn it down. Like not, and when I say turn it down, I don't mean become less than you are. I don't mean, dim your light. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you are not a man though. So you don't have to now assert yourself over that man because he is a man and he's a man that you're interested in. I would hope so. You dating, you're at least going out with him. So I'm just like, I see a lot of that. And sometimes the most successful women are the ones that have trouble doing that. And then that's a lot of times what stops them from being able to be in that relationship. Just from what I've seen. Yeah,
and that's accurate. That's typically, I see plenty of the examples. Go ahead, Mickey.
I just want to speak to the whole comment about attitudes because I can admit that I have one. Yes, I do.
Wait a minute. Wait. What? What
you be honest though.
I want to be honest and address what Chloe is saying, and what C Prince is saying, in that there's a lot of hurt coming in from my attitude. So there could be a better way to approach the situation when I'm addressing a man. I'm doing it in anger because I've been so hurt. But my attitude doesn't have to reflect how I treat you, right? And I had a situation with this guy. We were going back and forth, met him online, and I'm just like, why are you treating me this way? So one day I blew up on him. I just lost it. All the days of niceness just went out the window. And what he said to me is, Mickey, I've been on a lot of dates. I was with someone for a very long time. And after breaking up, I was going out on dates and it wasn't working out. So I stopped taking women out on dates. And you, my friend, are a product of me deciding I don't want to go out on dates. So I just want to hook up. I just want to pull up and meet you and just kick it and not have to take you out to dinner and not have to do all those things because that didn't work for me in the past. And so my reaction to that could have actually been like, wow, I see where you're coming from. That sucks. But my reaction was, this is some bullshit.
That's
Like,
true.
why do I have to be the one you were trying to experience with because of your past? That wasn't fair to me. I could have reacted a different way because you don't deserve my anger even. I'm going to say, wow, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm just going to have to move on because that doesn't work for me. And my attitude could have changed his reaction to me even. But I was highly upset. I was livid because I felt like I didn't deserve that. Like, why do I have to suffer for your indiscretions? So to your point, Chloe, attitude does make a difference. And I would say in my approach going forward, I'm just not going to give everybody that energy because you just don't deserve it.
Boom.
Listen. I'm gonna commend you of blowing up because you should have blown up.
No.
Hold on. I'm gonna say like this because guess what? When you dealing in certain situations and somebody has the audacity to just tell you, and because they presented themselves a certain way when they got to know you, so they lied to you. If they'd have told you at first, you would have never blew up. You see what I'm saying? She understood
That
the
is
situation
100%
it was in.
true.
So if you start off a lie, and then when the lie comes out, and you expect a rational decision,
but I still don't have to blow up. You don't
Right.
deserve that
But
energy.
this is about her. Okay, hold on.
No. I know.
Just because he acting a
But
fool
you're right.
don't mean she need to act a fool with him.
I didn't say she acted fool. I said she.
Oh no, I'm not saying she acted a fool. What I'm saying is just because somebody else is on some BS don't mean you have to lower yourself to their standard or behave on their level. You can still stay where you at and deal with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not even saying you was wrong for feeling the way you felt. You are wrong. It is some BS. But what she's saying is, yes, it wasn't right for him to treat her like that, and it wasn't. But she's saying she could have carried herself differently in that situation. And for her, keeping her square, I agree. I agree.
So-
Although, I'm not gonna say that I wouldn't have got. I probably would have got
Right, because to Prince's point, it's going to just create another man calling me with a bad attitude because that's all you remember about me is she blew up on me and I don't even know why. All you women got bad attitudes.
No, I'm not saying like when I say bad attitudes, women. Let me just like that man carried his old situation into your life. Women do the same thing. And that's what I'm talking about, bad attitude. You can't make me the man you just left or the man you were just with. Or say to me, you remind me of somebody that did this to me. This is a whole new situation. This is the bad attitude I'm talking about. But guess what? I'm not that man. If you want to talk about that man, you take your black ass back over to that man so you can continue to do you wrong. That's how I feel. And that's what I would say. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? You talking to me and I haven't done nothing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have characteristics of somebody else. But guess what? Overall, I'm not that person. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying, that attitude.
Let me do something real quick because I'm not gonna let that go overlooked. So let me do something real fast for Mickey real quick.
She said it. She wasn't a problem. Didn't she just tell us she wasn't a problem?
No. I want to do this. I want to do this real quick for Mickey, right? So her statement about the fact that she didn't have to blow up, that was big, right? Because see, at the end of the day, that's a lot of our issue. If a lot of the issues within this point, let's say, because this topic tonight has multiple issues wrapped up in the topic. And a lot of this stuff is only going to be able to be addressed. It's only when we understand that there's something we could do better in the situation. Yep, and in Mickey's example, she identified something she could do better, right? Because see, at the end of the day, if that attitude, or I'll just call it quote unquote that anger or that frustration is there, then see that may come out in a different interaction she has with a totally different dude that may end up being the right dude for her, right? But she may end up missing that opportunity because she's still irritated from the last cat who wasn't acting right. So see, at the end of the day, the fact that she saw that, identified that, and was like, "Nah, I ain't had to do that." That's the start. Yeah, that's where it all starts at. You muted, Mickey.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nope, this is Danielle. But to your point, to piggyback off of that, and I think I might have mentioned this the last time I came on the panel, but to that point, I think we really need to start pushing and really like saluting people who are not afraid of counseling, therapy, because there's a lot that goes on within us that we're not seeing a way on how to better that, or how to, kind of address the situations that we have going on, because we all have issues, right?
Absolutely.
However, I think that's where the problem lies. I really do. And I know there are a lot of issues, like you said, Quay, that are kind of wrapped up all in this. But also, you brought up another good point that kind of rings true, in that you never know if the person is really truly for you or not, unless you are willing to both work together and move forward to work out your own issues collectively and respectively, right? And so this is going to be my plug for therapy, counseling, and all that. But no, seriously, I think it works. But that's another issue where I know I've fallen short in relationships. I have had a very, very, very difficult time, and I'm still going to do it for myself. So I know that's what people are going to say, but I've had a very, very hard time trying to get my counterpart to go to counseling in terms of a couples counseling session. I don't need counseling. Ain't nothing wrong with me? Like, sometimes that's the attitude I get. And again, I'm going to push forward in spite of that. But, just to be open to counseling and therapy is just good.
Right. No, I feel that.
I'm going to say something to you about counseling. Sometimes when people go to counseling and stuff like that, especially in a man's point of view, we don't like people in our business. Mm-hmm. Let's put it out there.
Yeah.
Our business. You can't talk to me, but you expect me to go talk to this fool up here. And then guess what? When you go to counseling, you know what? You got this person sitting there telling you how you're supposed to feel, or trying to work through your problems. But guess what? When you leave there, you got more problems, because you're like, and you hear what this fool just said to you, and you let this stuff slide. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to say it like that, because men think like that. Like, how dare you put our business out into strangers? But I'm not saying that. We got to get over that pride issue right there. I'm not saying not go to counseling. Understand that. I'm not saying.
No, I get you. That's real talk.
Yeah. I'm saying sometimes you got to understand. Sometimes you can't fix a person who don't think they broke.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Can we get a sound?
And that's the majority of our problem out here. A lot of people don't recognize that they are broken, but we all have trauma. Every single one of us have some form of trauma that needs to be addressed. And we walking around here and we don't want to address it. Some of us don't even want to accept it. And if you don't even if you can't even recognize that you have something that you need to address, then how do you get healed from that? Like, how do you move forward? And then we try to take that brokenness into a relationship.
Or even if it's not broken, even addressing that you can better yourself. Because I always say, to me, in my opinion, I strive to be better in some aspect of my life daily, right? So even if you're not necessarily broken, or you don't see yourself as broken, even how can you better yourself? Or, you know what I mean? I think just to strive for that is good too.
Facts. Yeah, no, it's all about improvement. And like I said, that's why, we look to have these conversations. At the end of the day, this conversation that we had tonight, and I appreciate everybody joining us. This conversation got large. We got a lot of viewers tonight. We got a lot of comments. And a lot of people are scared to even have this convo. Yeah, like, as serious as it is. Like, we got a situation that, is behind some broken families. We got a situation that is behind some self-esteem issues. Like, this thing gets deep, but a lot of folks don't even want to talk about it. They don't even want to touch it. yeah, we just keep letting stuff ride, and it's just like we know it's the problem, but we just don't want to even go there. And like I said, we going against the grain on this show. I'm just gonna tell y'all now. So let's some of these topics we're gonna be touching. I mean, we going there. And like I said, at the end of the day, the more folks who come on the show, and keep it, keep it honest, keep it real, the better the progress that we can make. Who's that? E-Web. Oh, she's joining me. Yeah, definitely. E-Web. Come join us next week. Come on the panel next week.
Yeah.
Okay, can I say about some mental health? So we might have another one. Go ahead, D-Nell.
Yes. Okay, so I just want to say, any single fellas that are out there that aren't afraid of commitment, that want to better themselves, call 777-9311.
Oh my God.
Oh man! Shout out to that plug.
Thank you.
Shout out to that plug. See, she over here trying to do a little tender. This ain't no tender. Y'all crazy. All right. So I know we done shot past our little hour. See, it's almost 10:20. See, we done went past this little joint, got that good. You guys got any? I guess we'll take some closing statements before we get out of here. Erica Webb, I had talked to you offline about that question. But I guess we'll take our closing statements. I'll start with the ladies, and we'll circle back. We'll start at Mickey. Mickey, you want to say anything in closing before we get out of here? Are you good? Okay. All right, don't be quiet today, and then next time we come on here, you're gonna be letting it loose. Now, I'm trying to give you a chance.
No blow ups on this show.
I'm waiting.
All right, D-Nell, you got anything you want to say in closing?
This was real good. This was good. I appreciate it, and I don't have anything further.
Okay, all right, for sure. We appreciate you coming on as well. So I know y'all be tag teaming, so we always look forward to tag teaming.
We're waiting for this.
Oh no!
Wow.
See how they do us, Mick. Erica, we need your help. Come on, sis. We need you next time.
Erica says she'll pop on next week. She's gonna pop on next week.
Yes.
All right, Chloe, you got anything you want to say in closing?
No, just that this was a great conversation. Like when you guys tap in, like we really need your voices to have this conversation. You need the different opinions. Like I love the different opinions. I have obviously I have a strong opinion, but at the same time, this ain't just about one voice. It's just not about me. Like we are all so different. We have to come together and all weigh in on this because it affects every single one of us. So I just appreciate everybody who commented, and I appreciate the ladies showing up, Nikki and D-Nell. Like I appreciate the participation, and I enjoy talking to y'all. And hey, let's keep having these productive conversations.
I do want to say something to
Danelle. Here she go.
No. Hear me out. It's actually to her point about plugging for dating, because I think I told you guys, like, we're on Clubhouse and all these apps and having these conversations, but where do they lead when we hang up? Like, can we have something? Like, is there a place where we're coming together and people are having the same opinions and agree, and then we walk away and go date somebody completely different because we don't have those connectors? So I just say open the floor to something like that. Not trying to be funny. It may not be today or tomorrow, but in the future, I don't want to be on Clubhouse and somebody I'm listening to I agree with, and I got to slide in their DMs. This is actually cooler because I can see people's faces. I can hear them speak. I can assess what I'm dealing with when I decide to hit your inbox, right? Like, I feel like, let me slide on in there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wait. So is you saying like candid combos, the matchmaking? Is that what you're saying?
We're gonna have a Charlie Prince night with the lady.
Might be some. Hold on.
Why not? We got got a married couple on the panel right here. Like, can we ask a married couple situation? That's all.
Look, candid love connections.
Hey, y'all have to let me know when we gonna do this so I can show my face, honey. Got to get my wig together.
We can
I
all
got to make sure.
Yeah,
now.
we gonna have to do
Make
that.
sure
I
I'm
like that.
under
I
control.
like that.
look at all the support in the comments. Everybody,
Yeah.
All right.
Candid combo single
So-
night. I like
So
that.
you know what? So I'm okay. So I'm with that. So I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see if we
don't
can.
living happily ever out here. We out here single and alone, talking
For sure.
to y'all. I need to
No,
go
I'm with
meet
that.
up with
I'm with that.
Wait, you
Some-
can stamp the meeting online because I know you done made several references to meeting online or seeing people in meeting
Yeah,
online now. You okay with that?
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna try to put something together. I'm gonna try to put something together.
Okay.
I'm with that.
Because we
I'm
are
with that.
family. See, we're not really strangers now. We are
See?
family.
Thank
see.
you. Thank you. We are strangers.
Oh, for sure. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try to put that together. We're gonna try to make something happen. But like I said, when I reach out to folks though,
Just
everybody don't be acting all scary and all. Don't be doing that. So when I set this up, then y'all got to keep it real. Let's actually do it because I
And we
definitely
gotta
put it together.
We would do it, and let's put the rules up. Y'all can't be acting like Kanye now. Y'all gonna be kicked out the group now.
Dina, you gotta be more specific.
But y'all can't be hiding and dressing up like trees in front of people. Houses and such now. We can't do it.
Oh, y'all crazy. Shout out to Dre Harris. He said I got on late, but it looked like it was a good one. I got to get in on the get in the mix on the next time. For sure, Dre. Definitely come join us, man. Like I said, every Wednesday night. Every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. All right, let me swing over to did I get Chloe already?
You did it. I'm good.
All right, yeah, let me swing over to C Prince. Go ahead, C Prince.
Well, we
Oh,
gonna
look, he's trying to get his pose on for his single day. Look at him.
look. We gonna do it like this. We gonna talk about these baby mamas, and I'm gonna tell these these women who are dating men with baby mamas. These single women who date men with baby mamas. Understand this. Don't be mad at these baby mamas. But I'm gonna tell you like this, because they was in the picture before you were. Point blank. Be mad at that man that he's going back to that baby mama because she got that fire.
Oh,
Understand this.
we gotta end the show. I'm out of drink.
You can't be mad at this man because he knows where he's going to. So either you get a bigger fire or that fire they keep going back, getting warm and all that feeling won't be out your life. So understand, these baby mamas are confident in what they got to offer. So guess what? You need to do something with your fire because guess what? You lose it.
You know what? The views and the comments of C Prince are not the views and the comments of Candid Convo. You know. Oh, you crazy, man. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna
be
really.
onto something. I'm telling y'all could be the next biggest dating platform.
Hey, that like I said, that might be the move. I'm gonna put that show together too. So let's see, y'all better be ready for that.
Yes.
But yeah, like I said, shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. Shout out to Erica Webb, Winfred Hatton checking in, Dre Harris checking in, Riley Page out of Lansing checking in. I say we appreciate you guys supporting the show. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word. Let folks know. And like I said, at the end of the day, bring a friend. Bring a friend with you. You know, D-Nail brought her friend up in here. They come in here tag teaming all the time. Like I said, bring a friend. I said we trying to get as many people as we can together in one space. You know, to Mickey's point, we trying to get as many people, like-minded people, or better yet, unlike-minded people. We trying to get people in the same space to have the conversation, keep it real, put their perspective out there, and let's hash it out. And that's really what we're trying to do. So the more people we can get, the better and the faster, things can move. So like I said, once again, we do the show every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Every Wednesday night, we do this show, Candid Convos. Like I said, anybody, you always have the option to come on the panel with us, which we definitely encourage you to come on the panel. You can cut your camera off if you want to, cut your camera on if you want to. But I said, it just makes for better engagement. I said, it makes it more personal, in the conversation. But like I said, we got the Cash App up here as well. If you want to support the show, Mr. Quay Price is the Cash App ID if you want to support the show. But like I said, spread the word. Help us build the platform. Help us move each other forward. Like I said, that's really what we're looking to do. And with that being said, everybody have an awesome night. We appreciate you coming out, and we will see you guys next Wednesday.